Wings of Fire, Book 2, The Lost Heir. Prologue. Underwater, Webbs couldn't hear the screams of dying dragons. Underwater, the battle was as far away as the 3 moons. Fire couldn't touch him. Talons couldn't scar him. The blood was washed away from his claws. Underwater, he was safe. Safe and a coward. Still better than loyal, brave, and dead. Webbs shuddered awake. A catfish was staring at him blankly. Its whiskery tendrils drifted in the currents. The expression on his face said, "Why is there a dragon sleeping on my river stones?" Webbs ate it, and it made him feel a little better. The Talons of Peace must know what's happened to the dragonets by now, he thought. They have spies in the Skywing Palace. They don't need to hear it from me. The Talons did not need him to stand up in front of them and say, "We failed." But where could he go? He was already hiding from his own tribe, the Sea Wings. Did he have to hide from the Talons of Peace for the rest of his life as well? Webbs paddled to the surface of the river and cautiously poked his head out. It was dark, with the claws of Cloud's mountains blocking most of the moonlight like vast shadowy teeth. He'd been swimming downriver for days. The Skywing Kingdom was far away now. The Sky Kingdom and the 5 dragons he'd sworn to protect. Webbs dragged his long, aching body out of the water and took 3 steps into the forest before he noticed the dark shapes waiting for him. He spun around, but a new dragon loomed out of the river and blocked his escape. Black spiral patterns marked his green scales, and his teeth gleamed in the moonlight. "Webbs," said the other Sea Wing in a pleasant voice, "I thought you would never wake up." Webbs drew his talons through the riverbank mud. Nautilus, he said. He hated the tremble of fear in his voice. "I have important news for the Talons." "You don't say," said Nautilus. I suppose you got lost on your way to the usual meeting place." "So we thought we'd come and find you," said one of the dark figures in a voice like icicles dripping. "Cirrus," Webb thought. It was never a good sign when Cirrus the Ice Wing appeared. "The Sky Wings found our cave," Webb said. "Just tell the truth. It's not your fault. And Queen Scarlet took the dragonets." "Yes," said Nautilus dryly. "We gathered that much from how she's practically been standing on the tallest mountain shouting, 'I have the dragonets of destiny. They're all mine.'" "Tell us everything," Cirrus hissed. "How did they find you?" "Well," Webb said slowly. "It started with 2 of the dragonets tried to run away. Maybe 3. He wasn't sure where Glory had been on the night. He could only find Starflight and Sunny. But he knew she couldn't have gone into the river with Tsunami and Clay." Why would they run away?" Nautilus asked sharply. "What did you do to them?" Webbs felt his gills flare. "We kept them alive," he snarled. "And trapped them underground, and chained Tsunami, and planned to kill Glory because she wasn't part of the prophecy, but what choice did we have?" "Surely you caught the runaways and brought them back," said a voice in the shadows. Webbs recognized Crocodile, a muttering new to the Talons of Peace. His hopes rose. In his few meetings with her, she'd been sympathetic. Perhaps he had only one ally here. Webb said. "No, not exactly. They kind of came back on their own to get the others." He cleared his throat. "We weren't expecting that. Kestrel thought they'd be long gone as soon as they hit the sky." "It sounds like they felt like prisoners," Nautilus said in a soft hiss. "You told us to keep them underground," Webbs protested. "That was a decision made by all the Talons, but we wanted them to be agreeable, not rebellious. That was the entire point, wasn't it?" A murmur went around the circle of dragons. There were 7, including Nautilus. As far as Webbs could tell, he wondered if he could fight his way past 7 dragons. "It wasn't our fault," he muttered. "Maybe there's something wrong with them." "What does this have to do with the Sky Wings?" Cirrus hissed. "The Skywings followed Clay and Tsunami back to the cave," Webbs explained. That's how Queen Scarlet found us. We tried to fight back, but she killed Dune and took Castrell with the dragonets. Will she make them fight in her arenas? Asked Crocodile. Can they win? They're only dragonets, Cirrus growled. Of course they won't survive in the arena. Surely she'll spare the Skywing at least, Crocodile said. Webbs flinched. He had never been brave enough to confess to the Talons of Peace they had lost their Skywing and Dragonet and replaced it with a Ringwing. But now the Dragonets were out in the world, and everyone would know soon. You know what Queen Scarlet did to the Skywing Dragonets who hatched on the brightest night? Cirrus hissed. Mercy is not exactly in her nature. Webbs raised his head and looked around, eyes glittering in the dark. Can't we go get them? He asked. Maybe if all the Talons attacked at once. His voice faltered. Who was he kidding? He wasn't about to go rush in the Skywing Palace and die. And he was closer to the Dragonets than any of the Talons who hadn't even met them. All the Talons, sirs, his 40 dragons against 100 Skywing Palace guards? A brilliant plan. No wonder we left the Dragonets in your capable claws. His diamond-shaped head darted up and snapped the bat out of the air. Tiny bones crunched in his teeth. A suicide mission may not be necessary, Natalia said. Something happened in the Skywing Palace yesterday. We don't have any clear reports yet. But one spy said he thought Queen Scarlet was dead, killed by the Dragonets. Webbs flared his wings in surprise. But my Dragonets? He asked. Maybe they have a talent for escaping, Natalia said, although another spy was sure they all died trying to fight their way out. Webb's stomach felt as if it were full of poisonous jellyfish. The dragons couldn't be dead. Not after all he'd given up for the sake of the prophecy. And to save my own scales, a small voice whispered inside him. If they are loose in Peria, how do you suggest we find them? No suicidal suggestions only, please. Well, for us, you may feel free to kill yourself whenever it's convenient. I don't know, Webbs admitted. He had no idea where the Dragonets might go. He didn't understand why they want to be on their own, cut off from their protectors. The worst 10 days of his life were the ones between the battle where he had abandoned his queen, and the day the Talons had fought him, alone, with no tribe to support them, and no Talons to protect him. How would the Dragonets survive? If we can't get the Dragonets back, Natalia's mused, I suppose we'll have to consider our backup plan. He scratched his gills thoughtfully. What backup plan? Webbs asked. None, the one you don't get to know about, Cirrus said. But we have to get them back, Webbs said. They're the Dragonets. They're the only ones who can stop the war. Have faith in the prophecy, Webbs, Natalia said. Yes, don't worry, Crocodile said reassuringly. The Talons wouldn't put all their eggs in one nest. It's a good backup plan. Webbs looked up from one shadowed face to the next. Apart from Crocodile, he saw nothing friendly in the eyes staring at him. I don't understand, he said. Was there another prophecy he didn't know about? Of course, Natalia said, which means you would be a problem. Webbs barely had the time to say, What? Before Cirrus was suddenly on his back, pinning him to the ground. His wounds from the Skywing soldiers flared up with bright new paint. His wing was twisted behind it. One wing was twisted behind him, and he could feel the ice-wing serrated claws digging into the scales. What are you doing? Webbs yelped. I'm one of you. I've been with the Talons of Peace for 7 years. And you failed us, Cirrus hissed. Now, Natalia said, then paused. No, that's not fair. I'm going to dig your heart out and feed it to the fish, Cirrus growled. Won't that be ironic? Webbs thought gloomily of the fish he'd just eaten. But where are the dragons for peace? He said, teeth gritted with pain. If we kill each other, aren't we as bad as burn, blister, and blaze? Sorry, Webbs, Natalia said. Peace is more important than any one dragon. If you disrupt our backup plan, we're doing this for your own good. For the prophecy. For peace. Webbs heard the horrible echo of his own words. The same thing he said to the dragons whenever they complained about life under the mountain. It's for your own good. Peace is the most important thing. He believed it when he said it. No doubt Natilius did too. Natilius gestured with one talon. Cyrus, rip his heart out. Rip out his heart. Jaws of the ice cream sprang open and Cyrus flung Webbs down onto his back. Icicle sharp claws flexed, ready to tear into Webb's underbelly. Suddenly, Crocodile cannoned into him, knocking Cyrus into the undergrowth. Webbs didn't hesitate. He flipped upright and shot into the sky, fast as his wings could carry him. He heard shouts of crocodiles as crocodiles struck at the dragons around her. He felt a stab of guilt. Should he stay and help her fight? But why go back for death when he had a chance at life? He heard wingmates behind him and flew harder. He imagined Cyrus bleeding down his tail, or Natilius hissing closer and closer. But it was Turo's voice who called to him. Fly, Webbs, she cried. I've knocked them out. They didn't see that coming. Ha! Thank you, Webbs called back, twisting to see a heavy brown shape soaring behind him. Where will you hide? She asked. I have no idea. I've heard there's a dragon in Jane Mountain who might. You should go home, she said, tilting her wings, swooping under him. From what I hear, Queen Coral is in a merciful mood these days. A thrill ran through Webbs from horns to tail. It nearly took his breath away. Home? Back to sea? After all these years? Is it possible? She'll never forgive me, not after everything I did. It's not just that I deserted her during battle. She must know I was the one who stole her egg for the prophecy. You might be surprised. Isn't she supposed to be one of the greatest queens in history? That's what all the Sea-Wing scrolls say. Perhaps she'll forgive you. Why not take a chance, if it means you can go home again? Webbs was silent. One of the moons was rising, shimmering off his blue-green scales. From up here, he could see the ocean, far off in the distance, but it seemed as unreachable as the moon itself. Up to you, Crocodile said, banking away from him. I'm just telling you what I've heard. Good luck either way. Good luck to you too, Webbs called. She vanished into the trees, and he wondered where she would go now. He missed the sea with every scale on his body. He missed the palaces, the currents, the whale songs, the feasts, the gardens, and the other Sea-Wings. If the Talons are done with me, if I promise her I'll be brave this time, maybe I can go home.